have that instinct automatically? Because remember, some of this stuff is genetic. They either have it or they don't, right? This is what it's all about, people. Attack the boy! He must know that I'm in the dog fight with him. I'm next to him side by side. We have a bond that's unbreakable. Isn't that intro so great, man?
I love that intro, man. That's awesome. What's up, everybody?
How you doing? Yeah. Hey, man,
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. I want to say thanks for coming on, man. I know your people are logged in watching us too, and that's beautiful. I'm glad that we're able to have this discussion today, and I appreciate you allowing me to have this conversation about, guess what, dogs.
Yeah.
And how we coexist with them, right?
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
that's what it's all about. Let's
I
get
say
into
before
it.
we get started, they might, if it's my folks watching, they might have no idea who you are.
Hey, I'm Gerald Antoine from All World Doberman Club. I'm a dog enthusiast. I consider myself a self-proclaimed Doberman expert, per se, without the degree. Been doing dogs for 16 years. You know, I couldn't have any dogs when I was younger because my mother always said, we got enough two-legged dogs in the house. So once I got grown, got my own place, I got a dog. And so I've done a little bit of dog training myself. I'm not a trainer, but I am part of some clubs.
Mm-hmm.
I have competed in IPO when it was called IPO. They've changed names a few times before and after. But I'm here and I love communicating with people who have the same common interest, which is dogs, which is animals. And it all comes full circle. What do they say? Dog spelled backwards?
G-O-D.
There you go. So yeah, this is me, and enjoy the show. We're gonna just shoot from the hip on these conversations.
Perfect, man. I'm ready. Oh, and I got to warn everybody at first, if my voice sounds different, I got 101 fever. I got some kind of sore throat. I went to the ER today, but they said nothing we can do for you. So we're just going to suck it up. I'll be sucking on some Ricola, though. This is helping.
Ricola.
But so I apologize if I'm not coming in 100%, but we're going to make it happen anyways.
Yeah, so let me ask you a question. So I've been watching a lot of your stuff online and very informative. I could say that most of the people, 95% of the people that have watched your show, your podcast, they learn something. And that's what it's all about. How can we better each other as owners, as pet owners, as pet handlers, as pet trainers? And one of the situations I've always wanted to ask somebody, first of all, what was your favorite first two movies? Your favorite movies you ever loved that you can watch over and over? What's your favorite movies?
Oh, I was just watching it tonight with my kid, Goonies.
That's your
Goonies.
favorite movie?
It's just one of those classics, bro. For me, I grew up on it. I'm from the 80s, so Goonies, and like it warms my heart that my daughter is now 9 years old and she gets it and we're watching it. So Goonies gets it. And then this might be a goofy one, but the original Willy Wonka. I have no idea why, but I love that one.
That was what what's his name?
Gene Wilder.
Gene Wilder. Oh,
Yeah.
dope movie. That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was a good one. I love how at the end he was like the guy, Charlie brought the everlasting gum suckers back. He said, "You win the whole thing."
Yeah, man. It's such a cool movie. I don't know why I like it so much. Those are movies that I could watch 1,000 times.
Two of my favorite movies that I can watch over and over and over because I love the premise was Gladiator, the first one.
Oh,
Gladiator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Right. And then my other favorite movie, I know it sounds crazy, Terminator, the first one.
Bro, classic. Classic.
All
and
right,
here we are, bro. It's almost coming true.
Yeah. So Skynet, that's right.
Coming.
Let's get into some training because we talked a little bit off air before we got on. Let's get into a little bit of training. My question is, and I want to get your viewpoint on this one. And this is one of the things that's always been bothering me, and some people agree and some people don't agree. I always say that protection training is really obedience training. And let me expound on that. When you're doing protection training, you are ideally teaching your dog to identify what's a threat and what is not a threat. You also teaching him how to be desensitized to things like kids coming up to the dog and petting it without asking proper permission, right? But when people say it's not, it's like, I give an example. I lived in a neighborhood in Inglewood. It's a gated community. It's right behind where it's now the football stadium. It's gated. Okay. We got 24-hour security. So when you live in a gated community, you know who's coming in and out. You know that if somebody's going to be in there that knocks on your door, it's either the mailman, a UPS, or FedEx. It's not going to be anybody else unless the guard brings them through. I usually, and this is where protection training really kicked in for me, where I've spent thousands of dollars and it actually paid off. I usually walk my dog Alonzo from the backyard through the house, through the front door. Okay. Every day, backyard, through the house to the front door. And I open the door without him on a leash, because guess what? I'm not expecting nobody to come to my door without being unannounced. Right. So as I was doing that and I opened the door, guess who's walking towards my door, and I'm walking out with my dog off leash? The mailman.
UPS or something. Yeah.
Mailman. What did he do?
Freaked out and ran, or
He
half ran.
Boom.
Yeah.
Now I speak French to all my dogs. I did that when I was doing ring sport. My boy Alonzo went right after the postman, and I said 2 words: Alonzo, couche. Now he's in pursuit. You know what he did? He dropped. Guess what would have happened if he had bit that mailman?
It's a big old lawsuit.
And you know my insurance company know I got Dobermans, right?
Yeah.
So that's what happens. So I think protection training really is obedience training when you think about it, because now you're able to control the dog in the heat when he's not that had tunnel vision. What is your perception, or what is your opinion about that?
Well, we always have people come to us saying they want their dog protection trained. And we tell them we first start with obedience, because without obedience, all you have is a gun with no safety. Absolutely have to have the control work. Because there's a lot of badass dogs out there. Right. They need zero protection training whatsoever. They come out of the womb pre-installed from the factory with the genetics to take out a bite out of anyone. Too many people, truly. And it's to your point, 99.9% of the time, the person coming to your front door or that's in your home is a guest or the mailman. And we need to be able to let the dog know with 1 word, or in your case, right, the name and couche, this is not it. This is not the time. And I think there's a very, very, very fine line. I mean, this is a whole conversation we can have. We can spend hours on this conversation right here. Like, what qualifies a dog to be a protection dog? Because there's like this scale of them, so to speak. There's dogs that'll look really flashy on a field, would never bite someone in real life. Then on the other end of the spectrum is that dog's gonna bite everybody, including you, potentially your family members. That dog's just turned on from the factory. No training needed. Well, and if I had to choose between those two, by the way, it's a scale here. I know you know this is for the folks listening. And someone came to me and said, Garret, I need a protection dog for me and my wife and my kids. I work late at night. I travel a lot. I'm hardly ever home. I live in a fancy house, and we have a lot of maids and, folks coming over, in and out, workers. I need a protection dog. You know which dog I'm pushing them towards between the two? Heavily this way. I want the dog to look the part, kind of act the part, but not be the part. Because if it really is the part, it's going to be effing people up. It's going to bite the pool guy. And then it's the rich guy getting his ass sued. And by the way, who's controlling that monster? Because I don't care how much training you put into the dog. I really don't care who trains it and how much training the trainer puts in. His soccer mom wife, who's got the baby in one hand and who knows what with the other hand, posting on Instagram, isn't going to control that dog when it's trying to kill the mailman, if it's really about it. In a perfect world, we want a dog that's right dead center, perfect in the middle. And it's like a unicorn dog. They exist, but very, very hard to find. Very hard. And even if you find that dog that has tremendous control and at the drop of a hat or 1 word can turn it on and turn it off, that's on a perfect day in perfect circumstances when everything's just, quote, perfect. But that's not real life.
No.
All it takes is that dog to be maybe having a little bit of a bad day, or just things are just a little off. I don't know what that could be. I'll give you an example. The dog's perfect, but then you have a guest coming over. They come in the back door and they've had a couple too many to drink, and the dog's like, "Yeah, this is go time," and they tear that guy up because they're about it. Or you come home drunk, and the dog bites your own ass. So that's the conversation I have with protection training. You really can't just. I mean, you can buy one, not from the store, but you can get one out of the box from someone like you, let's say, that like, yeah, this dog's perfect. Well, now you as the owner and everyone in that house needs to do the hundreds of hours of training to really know how to keep that dog in check and keep it sharp, because it'll lose those skills after a while. So long conversation short, like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I agree, and that leads me to discuss the other two things. So, like, when I used to bodybuild on an amateur level, okay, I'm not a Ronnie Coleman or anything like that. I did men's physique. The training is always continuous because you have to keep training. So when you do have a date, you won't be that far off to get prepared, right? I think some people who go to training, whether it's one-on-one training and group training or board and train training, that they forget that you still got to work the dog. You still got to go out there sometimes. You still got to do some food luring. You still got to do some fetch. You still got to do some heel, some long downs. And I think they forget that the dog is just like humans in respects as you need to still exercise those motor skills, the thought process. And with that being said, what are the most important two commands out of any commands that you want your dog to know no matter what the situation is? Two commands.
Oh, I like this question. It's great. Recall, number one. I usually chalk it to one command. Get the recall. If you have the recall, then the dog will come to you, and then you're pretty good at that point. Grab the collar. You can get physical control of the dog. You have to have a recall. If I had to have a second command, it depends what kind of dog we're talking about. Just a pet dog, I'll take a downstay. Downstay will keep them out of trouble pretty good. But if it's some kind of protection dog, maybe some kind of verbal out, which probably would be needed. But yeah, recall and either a down or an out, depending upon what you're dealing with.
I got one for you, because most of the people that we deal with are going to want great obedience pets, right? That's most of them. Leave it.
I like that.
One of the things, and when I did a brevet, when one of my boys got a brevet, it's called food. One of the phases is called food refusal, where they throw pieces of bread or whatever the case may be, and they say, leave it. And they're supposed to leave it. Now, you can use that in many different situations, but the primary reason is to leave it is because you don't want your dog getting poisoned.
Yeah.
Or swallow something he can't digest. And now you got a big surgery bill, right?
Well, we're dealing with a dog right now that we're in the process of teaching a leave it command for something entirely different, because he's a dominant prick and he bit his mama, his human mama, over a bone, and she saw it coming. She's just an amateur dog owner. You want to guess what breed? I give you three guesses. You'll probably nail it. Big and bad. Just a tough dog.
Cane Corso?
Close.
Pressa.
You already know. And you talked about it offline with me a bit, but you can call it a designer dog, a fashion dog, whatever it is. She's got one, and he's only he's like 14 months old, but he's tough and he knows it. He's big and he's bad. And he was resource guarding a bone on her couch, and she recognized it. She basically, quote, he looked like he had a weird look in his eye. And I saw the bone and I kind of put two and two together. So she tried to kind of outsmart it, which I give her a ton of credit for. So it's her and the bone's on like the ottoman. She's on the couch and he's like beyond the ottoman on the other side of the couch or something. The bone's between them. So she says, what if I get him to come over to me? Then he's closer to me than he is to the bone. We're good. So she does that.
Yeah.
She's like, all right, we're good. So she kind of slides out. As soon as she stands up, bites her arm, bites her ass, man. And there's no small
With
bite.
intent. With intent.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
he's a dick. Just to set the record straight that that's his bone, and who gave you permission to stand up and get anywhere near my bone?
Mm.
So, anyways, we're going to teach that dog. Am I ever going to make his resource guarding go away? It's pre-installed from the factory, man. That dog came with that. But that boy's going to have the world's best leave it. I want her, when she says leave it, I want this dog
He's
to
like, oh shit.
go 30 feet into the other room. I mean, get up, hunker down. I mean, straight submissive. I don't care if he goes hides under a table. Anything other than what he did. And so we have a lot of work to do on that. We have to generalize it across anyone that says it, no matter how they say it, where they say it, what the item is. That boy's new best command is going to be lead it. So, we got that work ahead of us. I was supposed to work on it today. I've just been feeling like shit. So,
You know, and I hope you feel better. Hey guys, if you guys want to follow Garret, you can find him on YouTube. He's at American. Give it to him. American
Standard
K9. That's right. And then we also talked about your online courses at DIY
K9. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it yourself K9. It's a little tricky.
Yeah.
I was reading, my wife Stephanie is in the chat.
Oh, that's her?
Yeah, she's in there. She's supporting. I love her. She's a sweetheart.
Good, yeah.
She's a soldier.
Stephanie, you should be doing that.
Is your wife Stephanie too?
Yeah, but hers is spelled with an F. STEF.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got the original PH.
There you go. I noticed that a lot of the big brand names like Petco's, PetSmart, and them other name brand places, the big store places, they went away with the prong collars. Have you noticed that?
I heard it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't shop in those horrible stores, bro.
Yeah.
Garbage products, garbage training.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So they went away with it. What do you think? How do you feel about the prong collar used as a correction tool versus we see right now people use them as a daily walking collar?
Well, I love the prong collar, point blank period. I think it's extremely versatile. I think it's cuts right to the chase. Of course, any tool misused can be exactly like your hand. It can pet. Yep. It can do very dangerous things. This hand can kill someone. It's all how you introduce the tool, how you use it. I love the prong collar. And the prong collar is big, bad, and scary, but it's also not the most powerful tool in our arsenal. And some people seem to be surprised by that. The most powerful tool in our arsenal, the most dangerous, the most deadly, the most powerful, in my opinion, is the positive only trainer's favorite fucking leash, the slip lead. Prong collar can't kill a dog. I mean, maybe with some horrific gross negligence, which if I have to, just to be very specific, I don't think a human could do it. I think if the dog got trapped in a crate with the prong collar, which you should never leave a prong on in a crate, always trying to teach and preach here, maybe the dog could get hung up and choke itself to death. Maybe. But the prong's not really made to choke a dog. But a slip lead, let me tell you, that's exactly the tool. The sweet and innocent, soft, kind, and gentle slip lead is exactly what we're using on this dog here, the Pressa, when he tries to bite us. So I love the prong. I think it can also backfire on you. Let's be very clear. I don't think there's any absolutes in dog training. So as much as I love the prong collar, I'll tell you a funny story, bro. It's funny because it's fresh. And again, we have lessons to be learned here. But let me say this first before I tell you the story. The prong can be amazing. I love it for corrections, but we also don't use it just for corrections. We use it to teach dogs, leash pressure. And also, I mean, there's so many uses for it. But I also put it this way. Well, this is a little bit of a lie, but I don't usually take Thanos anywhere. That's my personal dog. He's like 110 pounds. He's got pretty high prey drive. He's calmed down a little bit now that he's 5 years old. But generally speaking, I can walk him without a prong. No problem. I can walk him without an e-collar. No problem. I can run his ass naked. It doesn't matter. But why would I do that? He's a big, powerful dog, and I need him to be perfect at all times. And he's not perfect. Let's be very clear. He's a dog. He's an idiot sometimes. Sometimes he sees a squirrel or a whatever, and he's like, "Hey, that looks pretty good," and I'm like, "Now's not the time or place." And I'm not one to repeat myself when it comes to dog training. So it's either, for instance, leave it, and if he wants to get frisky, we're going to fix that. And one little correction on the prong or one little correction on the e-collar, homeboy's going to be tight for the next 3 or 4 months. And we can talk. We'll come back to that later because there's some jackass online that was giving me a hard time. He took a screenshot of me, which I know you want to talk about, with my dog at the airport, and he freeze framed it. And in my hand, on my neck, I have an e-collar. On my finger, I have a finger kick for the e-collar. On the dog, I have the e-collar, a prong collar, and a flat collar. And it says something like, if this was really a service dog, he wouldn't need all of this equipment. Like and just the fucking dumbest statement I've ever heard. Because then he goes on to say something like, if you're a true professional, you don't need tools.
Shit.
And then I'm like, pick the profession. If you have a plumber come over and the only tool he has in his toolbox is a screwdriver, you need a new plumber. If you have a professional race car driver that's going to drive a race car, that boy better have the best gear on possible. Pick a Navy SEAL. You want the Navy SEAL to go in? I see people talking about firearms in the chat. You want him to go in with a Bowie knife? Or you want him to have the latest and the greatest? And
right.
They also go in with extra shit on. You and I, as police officers, we wear a gun every day. We're both retired. So anybody didn't know, he did some service in Memphis, Tennessee, which might be harder than Miami, where I did my time as a police officer. But we wear a gun every day. We have extra ammunition just in case. We were obligated to carry 46 rounds. I always carried at least one extra mag. So I had something, I don't know, whatever the math is. I had extra. Hopefully I wouldn't need it, but better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. It's the same with my dogs. But now let me tell you about the prong collar. I'm talking circles. It's not if the prong will fail you, it's when. The prongs always break. It's just, and they don't break every day. They break like once a year, one will fail you. And when it fails you, it's always at the worst time. Speaking of worst time, speaking of designer dogs, speaking of, one of my trainers has a Malinois in, the one I was telling you about offline, 8 or 9 months old, full tilt. This dog is the offspring of a male police dog and a female police dog from somewhere in New York. Supposedly, these dogs are active in the field being worked. This guy, which is probably stupid in and of itself, the owner or a handler of one of these dogs bred the dog. I don't know the full story. This is just what I'm getting from the client to the trainer to me. So it's one of my trainers who has like 15 years experience. Guess what? With Malinois. He's a badass handler and trainer. Just one of the best in the country, if you ask me. So he's handling this dog. And look what can happen to the best. He's out with the dog. He's doing one final walk at night. He's already 4 weeks into training with this dog. The dog, who's been a lot to handle already, came from another trainer, did a 6-week program. They couldn't get the dog right. He's 4 weeks in. He's getting the dog better for sure. Obedience is starting to get on point. It ain't perfect yet. He's not into e-collar training yet. You'll see what happens now. The dog sees one of his horses, and he sees it coming. He's like, oh, it's going to be bad. Dog loads up, runs to the end of the line. He goes to correct the dog for going after the horse. The buckle snaps. The buckle on the prong collar snaps. Not one of our buckles, folks.
Not a Herm Springer.
No. Well, it was a Herm Springer, but one of the aftermarket buckles.
Are you talking about the claps?
Yeah, I've never heard of one breaking until now. That one broke, and the dog flew through the fence, zero hesitation. This is a Malinois full tilt, I would say 100 miles an hour, but a solid 30 plus. Rips through and just goes for a full mouth bite on his horse. That's not training. That's pre-installed from the factory. This dog's prey drives, an 11 out of 10. So it's biting the horse freaks out, gets the dog off, and then the horses are now trying to like stomp the dog or whatever. The dog sees the goat, hauls ass after the goat, bites the goat on the leg. My trainer friend is running over there to get the dog off. He's on for 15 seconds. He says, Garrett, this was like a police dog bite. This dog was biting the shit out of this goat. He had to choke the dog off, right? A manual choke off. Dog's fighting through the choke off. He gets it off. He said, dog is on about 15 seconds, broke the fucking goat's leg. So what's the fucking wrong with this dog, man? So now here's the moral of the story. be careful. Should have had that prong double hooked. That would have helped a lot. And secondly, don't get a Malinois, because there's nothing wrong with the dog. The dog's actually awesome. Just got prey drive through the roof, and it's only about 8 or 9 months old. That prey drive is only going to get crazier. But what I was telling you offline, which everyone should hear, guess what the owner of this dog wants to do with that dog? He wants it to be, quote, service dog for his autistic kid. He wants to be able to take this dog anywhere and everywhere with him, like into restaurants and stuff. I'm like, no, I don't care who trains this dog. Give him to anyone. No one can take that out of the dog. Now, can me and Keith and someone like you, or a really good trainer, keep that dog suppressed, managed, where we could bring him into a restaurant? Yes. But look what happened in his own backyard, bro. Accidents will happen.
Yeah.
And then he shows me a video of the next day, same dog. He's got one of his ducks walking around. It's like 10 feet away, and the dog's in a perfect downstay. Like, I ain't going after that duck. But turn your back on that dog.
Yeah.
Or put that dog in another situation. He's going to eat the duck. So, and then there's, so we can wrap this up. Badass dog. Super nice dog. No human aggression. We think this dog's going to make a tremendous, guess what? Because of genetics. Look at his mom and his dad. This dog's going to make a great police dog, at least single purpose, meaning a dope dog or a bomb dog. It's yet to be determined if the dog's really got it. Based on what we've seen, the dog's probably got it. So this dog doesn't belong in a home with an autistic child in a residential neighborhood. This dog belongs jumping out of the back of an MRAP or a SWAT vehicle to go kick down a door and do a search warrant on some guy with a gun. That's what this dog can do. So, long story, you get my point. I don't know how we got there, but be careful what dog you get, y'all.
It makes sense because, part of the discussion we have too is the wrong people are buying the I would say the right dog. Like, you're getting good dogs, but the purpose of you getting these dogs won't serve your lifestyle. I'm seeing now that the influx of Cane Corso owners now have astronomically went up.
It's crazy.
And we are talking about, I think, well, what is that singer Tyrese Gibson, his dogs just got out in Atlanta and killed another dog in Atlanta. That entertainment guy. It was Cane Corsos.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, we can both agree that these are still going to be animals, and you have to be responsible. I always say that the dog, owning a dog is a luxury, not a requirement.
I've not heard that before, but I'm gonna steal that.
Yeah. Getting to the training, the board and train. I'm a fan of it, because I equate board and train as summer school. So now, if you went to summer school, what would take you 4 months, you do it in 30, 45 days because you're spending 8 hours a day in that class versus 45 minutes every other day for 4 months, right? With board and train, you speed up the training process because now the trainer is training the dog for the owner for whatever purpose they're trying to get it served for, and it's done. My question is, I think from my experience, I think most of the owners that do the board and train, not all, but some, they expect the dogs to act as a remote with a remote control. Like, okay, I say down, he go down. And I think we a lot of trainers are getting these complaint calls like, well, he didn't stop when I say stop. Or are you establishing dominancy with this dog? Are you saying it with authority? Do you say all your commands at a high pitch? So when he hears a high pitch, he's like, oh, this is normal. I'm not doing nothing, because the tonality of your tone dictates when the dog's going to listen. Or if you always yelling at him, he's going to say this is normal talk for them. I'm not going to do nothing different. Do you see some of your clients, and from your clients or other people's clients, where they have the misconception of what board and train is because they're supposed to be coming to see you at some point to figure out how to administer these commands?
Yeah. So excellent points. I love to brag about this. One of the things that separates us as a board and train program is there is not a trainer or training system or company on the planet that does more face-to-face, one-on-one time with the owners than us. Most people do a 30-minute, 1 hour, maybe a 2 hour take home. We do 2 days back to back, minimum 4 hours each session, minimum. And then it's a lifetime guarantee. And we tell them it's not that you might need to call us. It's like, you better call us. And I expect that phone call to be in the next like 12 to 24 hours. It's not if that dog's going to fuck you. It's just when. And it could be 3 minutes after I walk out, or maybe it's tomorrow. But let's not play games. That dog is going to try to screw you, because it doesn't, I say it all the time, it doesn't matter who trains the dog. You send it to the best trainer on the planet. That doesn't mean the dog automatically just listens to you. We say it's not a robot. It makes a decision every single time you tell it to do something. It makes a conscious decision whether it's in its best interest or not to listen to you. We just, as owners, well, as trainers, and then what we make our owners, what we refer to as owner trainers, that's literally the title we give them. You are now an owner trainer. You got so much information when you run into a problem, because you will. Now you know exactly what you need to do to fix it. And that's all it takes. It's not a lot of hard work. It's just hold the dog accountable. Now, we have clients that take that and run with it. And we see them 3 months, 6 months, a year later, they come for boarding. That dog's better than when we dropped it off. They've absolutely maintained it. Then we have the other ones who, like you mentioned, think that boarding and training is just, you can pay all the money, but they never blame us for it, because we bend over backwards for them. They literally say like, okay, Garrett, I know she's not as good as she was. It's our fault. We haven't been keeping up with it. That we lost the remote control to the e-collar 6 months ago. I'm like, oh my God, folks. And then the interesting thing though, is it doesn't take, basically the dog's been goofing off for the last 6-9 months. It doesn't take 6 or 9 months to get the dog tight. 15 seconds, 30 seconds. The dog knows. It comes back. It's either back at our home turf, which automatically is like, oh shit, this place. Or they see me or hear my voice. And even then they're like, I don't know, bro. I've been getting away with this like 9 months. I give them usually one command, something very simple, like a down. Failure to comply, very big consequence. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden the dog's like, yes, sir. Back reporting for duty, sir. What do you need? And I'm like, there you go. That's all we needed. One little correction, tighten the dog up. They're back to business. They didn't forget the training. You simply reprogram the dog, like a software update. Like my stupid phone's been trying to do a software update for the last like 7 days. I keep saying no.
That's that Android shit going on. I'm telling you, you need to get an iPhone, man.
I have both. I don't know how to use the iPhone. I have one though for the lives, actually.
You know, I must agree, because a lot of these trainers out here in LA, shout out to all the dog trainers, Oscar Mora, Syke, Al Benuelos, Pete Medina, Larry Hansen, all of these people, they put in the work, right? Mm-hmm. Adrian Santano, they put in the work. And the one thing that is disheartening is that they do all the training they need to do for this particular client, and the client takes the training and is like, oh, okay, I ain't got time. Show me right quick. And then they go home, and then the dog end up biting somebody. Now, these same trainers have a price that they charge their clients, right? Some guys may charge $3,000 board and train. Another guy may charge $2,000 board and train. Who knows, depending on what they want. But the problem is that when you got other clients that says, or potential clients, they say, well, I don't need to pay all that money. I'm gonna go to Petco, PetSmart, do the little puppy class. I'll say, okay, no problem. They don't want to invest. So it's almost like college tuition. You know, if you have to pay, I paid my own school through Citibank student loan. I owed like $26,000 when I graduated in '94. And people don't want to pay for that intangible because they can't touch it. They can't smell it, but you just got to believe in it. And so I tell people all the time, I said, listen, it's not if your dog get away or out of that backyard. It's when he gets out of that backyard, and will he listen to you when he get out? And when I tell them my story, like I told you, that justified the thousands of dollars that I paid for in a nutshell, because them guys out there, you guys out there know that you're not calling your insurance company telling them you got Connie Corsos as pets and putting them on your policy. They're finding out after that dog has bit somebody or destroyed some property. So I'm a firm believer in paying for quality training, because it's not if, like you said, it's when. It's when. So that
Especially
leads
with
me.
the breeds that people are getting nowadays. It's no longer optional. And
Yeah.
Petco training, PetSmart training is a joke. I love it though, because sometimes people need to see how bad the training is, how ineffective it is, before they come over to our side. We actually found that people in our courses, over 66%, have wasted hundreds and thousands of dollars, usually bouncing between 1, 2, 3, or more dog trainers. Then they find us. And then the complete opposite of board and train, because we love board and train. It's the only, we can offer any kind of dog training service. We could offer it all. The only thing we offer, because it's the only thing that works, is boarding and training and our online courses. By the way, our online courses just show people how to do their own board and train from their own house, which is actually, in many ways, more effective. It's more effective because you're learning how to do it. You're becoming the owner trainer. Because just like you mentioned, again, I don't care who you send your dog to. If it comes back and you don't keep up with it, or you don't know how to maintain that dog will revert. I have the record in about 3 minutes. I saw a dog. We fixed the reactivity. Doberman, by the way, female Doberman, pretty high strung, nice dog. 3-year-old female, has been since, like, they've had it since birth, I believe. But either way, at around 1 year old, give or take, the dog started becoming really reactive and just getting worse and worse and worse towards other dogs. And they let it go for like 2 years, and they finally said, bro, we had enough. We got to send this dog somewhere. So we took it. We filmed it for our upcoming reactivity course to help people learn how to fix their own reactivity. But why? Why don't you just send the dog away? Well, the dog comes to us. We fix that reactivity. I mean, real quick. And then, in fact, we had a hard time even getting her to be reactive anymore. Why? Because we set the tone real early. Stop the bullshit. Stop it. She came out of the car, saw one of our chickens, very high prey drive, wanted to, like, losing her ever-loving mind. Dog would probably be pretty good in sport work. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Not a superstar, but she's just a nice dog, sweet dog. But anyways, we fixed it real quick. She's actually pretty soft. Send the dog home. And because we had to film the dog being reactive, we had to film it. I told the guy, I'm like, look, normally we would never let this happen, but I have to capture this because we've had her for like 6 weeks now, and I never filmed her being reactive when you first dropped her off. And literally, once you guys pulled away, I told her to knock this shit off with the chickens, and she was never reactive again. So, and mind you, we put her in every situation possible. So, bring her back home to her own stomping grounds, where for the last 2 years she's been reactive as all get out. And I said, look, this is totally normal. She's going to show her ass. I expect her to. All these behaviors are tied up to people and place. You got 2 years of, I got 6 weeks. You guys got 2 years of shit that we're going to work through. This is why I'm coming all the way from Charlotte to, where the hell were they? Salt Lake City, Utah. Flew the dog all the way over there. But by the way, reactive dog, had her on an airplane. She's fine, perfect. An angel. Get her to Salt Lake City. As soon as we pulled in her neighborhood, the odor came through the car windows. She was up. Oh, she was dialed up, man. She was, woo, let's go. Bring her out of the car. Long story short, I said, look, normally I would prep you for this. Normally what I would tell you is she's going to start to get reactive, and I need you to do X, Y, and Z to set a new tone, new direction for her. This pains me tremendous to have to do this, but I need you to not do anything. In fact, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I just want you to hold. In fact, do whatever it is you used to do. I just need to capture it on film so we can actually show people. Otherwise, they're going to think this dog's not reactive. We actually passed the first dog. This dog's like, there's dogs everywhere in this neighborhood. There's a dog park in the apartment complex. So people come with their dogs from outside the apartment complex to hit this dog park, which is right next to their building. So this dog is perfect. It's actually horrible if you have a reactive dog, but perfect for a trainer. So we bring the dog out. Not 30 seconds after we bring the dog out, here comes 2 dogs. And the dog walks past these 2 dogs within about, I don't know, 15 or 20 feet. Perfect attention to heel. I'm like, part of me, I'm like so proud.
You're about to cry. You're about to
I'm happy, but at the same time, I'm like, God damn it. We're never going to capture our moment. 2 minutes later, a couple more dogs running around in the dog park. We walk past the dog park. And you can see her just loading, loading, loading. And again, around the 3-minute mark, full reversion, fully back as if I'd never trained her. So I jokingly say, it takes about 3 minutes for a dog to fully revert back if the owner doesn't know how to maintain it. As soon as the dog, we'll let the dog act out for about 60 seconds. I couldn't take it anymore. Like this pains me to watch my training unravel. Took the dog back, knocked the BS off in 5 seconds, 10 seconds. And people might ask how. Well, combination of proper prong collar and e-collar technique. I mean, like very proper. I can give a ton away, but it would take me 6 weeks to probably explain to you what we did to prep the dog, what we call a correction with direction. I simply told the dog in so many ways, stop looking at that dog and start paying attention to me. I want 100% eyes on me. Anything less than that is unacceptable. And she basically is like, I know what you're asking me to do, but I don't want to do that. I'm going to do what I want to do. And I go, no, unacceptable. You will do what I asked you to do, period. And once she understood that, I'm like, all right. Then she was perfect angel. So if the record is 3 minutes to revert, again, it's 5 to 10 seconds to reel him back in. It's not to brag or anything. It's just to put it in, and it's not bragging at all. It's just to put things in perspective. I think people get a little lost in the sauce. Hand the dog back, and then she remained a perfect angel for the next 48 hours. Why? Because that's how much time we spent with them. We spent a ridiculous amount of time going over, just drilling it in, doing it again. Go by the dog park again. Look, there's a dog, literally chasing dogs down in their neighborhood. Go, 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 go. There's another one. It's a white dog. It's a black dog. It's a big one. It's a small one. Let's go, let's go. Passing them. And we couldn't get that dog to react, not one more time. Kept that dog tight. And I'm happy to report it's probably been like 3 or 4 months now. Perfect.
Yeah. You think, and I'm just speculating here, you think it was because the owner didn't know how to or didn't want to administer the tough corrections that's needed when it's needed at the time?
A little bit of both. One, and it depends, because sometimes you can literally just drop a correction, meaning the dog's never felt prong collar pressure before, maybe never felt e-collar pressure, but that's a much more dangerous game. Sometimes there's a small percentage of dogs that you could just correct with no preparation for the correction, meaning they don't know what the pressure is and they don't know how to turn it off, but they definitely don't want to feel it again. And then they find something else to do other than the shit behavior. You still need perfect timing. You need very good application of the tool, all this. Sometimes you can get down dirty and lucky. Amateurs and regular owners should not do what I'm telling you to do. I'm saying even a pro might have a chance to basically get in that dog's ass in that moment and not cure the dog of reactivity forever, but put a big old fat dent in it. Just stop the bullshit. In fact, I have a video of one. I was working with Josh Hart, the NBA player. He's got 2 Rottweilers. Nice. We go outside. He goes, oh, I forgot to tell you, the dog likes to chase cars. I go, oh, yeah.
I saw that one. I was like,
oh, so I have 15 seconds of prep work, literally. He just tells me that, and here comes a car. I'm like, oh, well, I guess we'll fix it. And this was a little internet bullshit. I don't know what you want to call it. It was a thing. This is just every day for me. Not that we do this every day. It's just, your dog chases cars? Oh, shit. Okay, I guess, here comes a car. Let's fix it.
Yeah.
You saw what happened. Dog loads, and explodes at the car. All I did was proper correction, perfect timing, just enough of a correction. And we fixed it. And don't quote me on this. It was either one correction or I might have did it one more time, like 15 seconds later, 30 seconds later. A lot of cars coming down that street. After that first or second correction, done. We were walking that dog. Literally, I put it in a downstate in the middle of the street and let cars drive by it. Now, does that work for every dog? No. Does that any owner could just get out there and slap a prong collar on and do that? No. You got to read the dog. You got to know the temperament of that dog. Can it handle that, etc. In this case, I'm on a very tight timeline with this client. In a perfect world, if I had that dog for a 6-week board and train, that dog wouldn't have seen a car for like 3 or 4 weeks. A lot of prep work. And then slowly but surely would expose the dog to it. And inevitably, the dog would probably get the same damn correction. It just would have been more fair and much less risky. But to be very clear, you do what I just described to the wrong dog that's in the wrong drive, that dog will come up the line faster than you can say, you know, whatever your favorite 4-letter word. That dog's going to come up the line and eat you. This was not that dog. So anyhow, I forgot what I went on a tangent.
No, you was making a point, but that leads me to discuss this right here. So dog parks.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Dog parks. People out
like,
here, man. First of all, here in LA, we just can't let dogs run throughout city and state parks off leash. It ain't happening. What a lot of people out here do, they get these rescue pits, these rescue mixed mallies, these bull herders, a new combination, and they get them as grown dogs. Don't know the background, don't know the foundation. And and I know, they always say, oh, the dog was rescued. They said because the people was moving out of a house and into an apartment. I'm like, listen, I've seen homeless folks with dogs. They will get rid of food before they get rid of their dog. So there's total bullshit. But I used to train with this guy named OJ. His name is Otis James Knighton. Call him the Canine Coach. He's the guy that really put all those dogs in a lot of movies that we see. Like the Rottweiler in Transformers. That was OJ training that dog, and the other guy that had a Malinois that had his own show. But OJ said, and this is when I was doing group classes. It was so watered down. I was like, oh my God, right? Before I knew I wanted to go do some real protection training. OJ said, if you go to a dog park after you leave here, don't come back here. Don't come back, because the dog it's almost like when I used to deliver people, drop people off at San Quentin when I was in the Bay Area. You got a very mild-mannered guy, and then he goes on to a yard when you drop him off to a yard full of wild people, general population, GP. What is he going to do? He's going to do what they do. He's going to adapt. He's going to adopt that behavior to fit in. When out here, OJ always said, if you go to a dog park after you come from this training, don't come back, because what's dogs going to do when they see all these 5-10 dogs chasing that one ball? They're going after that one ball. Your dog going to want to do that too. And then half, if not more than half, 3/4 of the dogs there don't have no formal training. So they're going to come up to your dog. They're going to approach your dog inappropriately. They're going to drink out of that nasty ass bowl together. They're going to fight. You got pit mixing a lot of these dogs. Most pits are not pack dogs. They're solo dogs. They don't run in packs. So you get dog fights. I've seen so many videos of dog fights in parks. What is your view on your clients who have complete obedience training on and off leash, depending on the advancement, and then they decide to go to dog parks after that?
Never allowed. It's completely not allowed. I cannot be more I don't even know what the word is. Dog parks are horrible. And to be very clear, going in them, we'll use the outside of them, as we did with this Doberman, for training. Very specific. Never, ever take your dog or puppy inside of a dog park prior to training, during training, or after training. There's a gentleman, we did a video on him, and then I saw him do it again, and I'm like, bro, he's seems like a pretty good trainer. I don't know him, but he films his interactions of him taking dogs that are, I think, in training or maybe starting to graduate training. I don't truly know what the purpose is, and he brings them in, and then basically some guy's dog came over instantly, gave his dog or his client's dog some shit. So he tried to Caesar Milan it, get the dog to back up, and the dog came back in. And so same thing. He kind of checked it in the neck, and as I would have too. And I'm not making fun of him. I just wouldn't have been in the dog park. And so that's what I stated. I'm like, bro, love that you're doing great training. Love that I said, quote, it's not worth it. It's never worth it. And then you brought up an interesting point, and I love how we can find so much common ground, or I'll beg, borrow, and steal things from you. But you mentioned about general population. That's exactly how I describe a dog park. I say a dog park is like the prison rec yard. And people are like, what? Like, it's exactly like that. The prison rec yard can be perfect. Everyone's in their own little sectors doing their thing. There's no issues until there's an issue. Then someone's getting stabbed, someone's getting shanked, and it's a full-on fight. And it's not if there's going to be a fight at a dog park. It's just when and how bad it's going to be. So I don't think I've ever gone to the exterior of a dog park and not seen a dog fight. You just got to wait around. Give it about 30 minutes to an hour. You'll see either a little tussle or a full-on fight. And none of those dogs are on e-collar. None of those owners have control. It's a free-for-all. And one more way I equate it to, would you ever send your kid to a playground where all the kids are armed with knives? Every single one of them. Like, what? No. I'm like, well, that's what a dog park is. These dogs have the mental maturity of a 2, 3, 4, 5-year-old kid or whatever it is. They're immature. They're dogs. They're animals. And you can imagine someone goes down the slide, cuts in front of someone else. This is your kid getting stabbed. A little shank action, right? Someone pushes someone. Someone goes with somebody else's girlfriend, you know? Like, can you imagine toddlers running around with... I know it's a horrible example, but it's true. So we let these dogs who have a mouth full of teeth making all these decisions, and it's inevitable they're going to make poor decisions. So anyways, yeah, I hate dog parks. It's like a poisonous word to me.
I stopped messing with dog parks when OJ told me that a long time ago.
Yeah, bro.
So I'll tell you a little story about when I used a prong collar on one of my dogs. First of all, I didn't raise the dog, but I was, I'm a Doberman breeder. I breed European Dobermans, but usually they got to have some working DNA on both sides. That doesn't guarantee that they're going to still work. Every puppy is different. But when I do have litters, they usually sell quick. Okay. So one guy who's an electrician, he's a union electrician. So sometimes he travels out of state. He's had this one dog that was the only male in that litter named Bo. And after a year of having that dog, he said, man, I got to go out of town some more. The union want me to go work in Vegas for 2 or 3 months. I can't have him. I said, give him back to me. Because I knew he was on fire. Right.
How old is the dog at this point?
Bo was about a year then. Okay. He was about a year and some months. And I knew that Bo had probably ate up his wife's Pomeranians. I just knew that shit because when a woman has 12-inch nails and his doghouse is a plastic BFI trash can, I just knew like, yo, this dog is just on the edge. But I told you before the show, I love dogs that have high prey drive. They are like badasses because if a dog's up here, I know I can put him down to where I want him right here. But a dog that starts right here, I'm going to break him, trying to make him where he's not. Yeah. So give me something right here, right? So I had Bo, we doing some training, and I put the prong on him. I had my guy, Al Benuelos. We was training over here in Compton. It's a field that we use. And I was doing corrections. We were doing long downs. I was walking away, going 20 feet up, stay down, and then I come back. He's supposed to still be in a down position. As I'm walking away, he gets out of his sit position, and he comes walking in behind me. So Al said, put his ass back down there, correct him, and put him right back down right now. I did that. Okay. Went back again, walked away another 20 feet. He's getting up again. I said, God damn. I just gave him a hard correction. I guess it wasn't hard enough. So I did a correction again. What'd he do? He stiffs up. He's loading up. Didn't know what the fuck that meant at that time. He loads up. The next thing I know, this dog takes and bites me right here, and he wasn't letting go. Luckily, I had on a hoodie because had I had on a T-shirt, he would have got to the white meat. I would have needed stitches. Mm-hmm. And I knew from that point, like not all dogs would take corrections with prongs. So my guy, John Leverett from Cali K9 said, Gerald, you need to use a slip. Once I use a slip, I started getting more corrections on him where it wasn't as he would never load up, but I would definitely have to hold it out because I know he wanted to get at me. Okay. Well, he attacked me one more time. So usually my dogs, when I put the harness on them, first of all, people who walk in dogs with harnesses just walking, that's total bullshit. Harnesses are made for pulling. When I put the harness on them, usually my dogs are getting amped up. It's like their Superman cape. I'm about to do some bite work. Well, I put the harness on Bo, and he attacks me. Total, yes, total. It's like, wait a minute, I'm not the guy that sit next to the guy. You're supposed to do this later. You're supposed to be happy. And I say this comment because even the prong collar is a tool that'll work against you on certain dogs, depending on how they take correction. What are your views on that? And how do you determine which correction device to use when you're trying to administer correction on bad behavior?
Yeah. So great question. Tricky one to answer. But in short, we let the dog tell us. We let the dog tell. In fact, usually when we go to introduce leash pressure for the first time, one thing I love to do, I'll have 3 different leashes on the dog. I'll have one leash hooked up to the flat collar, one leash hooked up to a slip collar, and one leash, or a slip lead, and one leash hooked up to a prong collar, right? Just all on. And we're introducing it as mildly as possible. We teach this in our leash course. And we will apply the lightest bit of pressure. Usually go for some kind of forward pressure. I just want the dog to go 1 inch forward. First thing they do is fight it. Almost always, right? 99.9% of the time. They're going to fight that pressure. But basically, I work both. And I might do 1 rep on prong and see how it goes. Or if it's starting to go to shit, I'll immediately switch. I'll kind of fade this one off. This is the mildest pressure you can imagine. It's almost imperceptible. If there's anything more than that, it's the dog putting it on themselves, right, with opposition reflex. And then I'm really just feeling the dog out to tell them. It tells me which one it's cooler with, right? Some dogs freak out on prong. I mean, freak out on prong pressure, and others do not like the slip lead and are super cool with the prong. And then I also look at the dog. What breed is it? And not that breed matters that much, but how big is this dog going to be? Look, so we had a Pomeranian. This is the best example I can give you. The Pomeranian sucked on the prong collar. Sucked. And I knew the owners would never use it. And so we used a slip on that dog, and it was perfect. Then I also look at a Rottweiler we have in our program right now. And I'm like, this dog's going to live in a prong collar, basically. Like, not really, but if they're going to walk this dog anywhere, put the prong on this dog. You're going to need full power steer and power brakes. So I want that dog to be perfect on the prong. Perfect. So we're going to spend a lot of time making sure he's very, very comfortable with it. I also think what happens too is, like I was starting to mention earlier, if you have a dog that's a hard ass, badass dog like yours and is in drive, you come in with depends. I'm trying to choose my words carefully here, but if you come in with a strong correction and that dog's about it, we say like this: you come in with a 7, that dog will give you an 8 or a 9 back. Then what? You can come in with a 10 if you still have use of your arms at that point. And you come in with a 10 and that dog's like, you 10? You want to see my 11? So sometimes the prong can just make it worse. The same with the e-collar. When a dog's in drive, you hitting these dogs with these tools, especially if the dog's not conditioned to it, it can just make the situation worse. Not always. With proper conditioning and the right dog in the right circumstances, does exactly what you need. So I let the dog tell me, but the e-collar is usually the great equalizer. By that, I mean, it just can do what no other tool can do, which is the anonymity of it. That I didn't put that pressure. That didn't come from me. That came from you and your actions. For instance, your dog that broke the downstay. If properly conditioned, that e-collar means go into a down. When the dog breaks, instantly you can correct it. And it's like, why would you bite me? That has nothing to do with me. You turned it on. If you don't like the feeling, then you turn it off. Of course, we prep the dog for that, and we help the dog turn it off. And we don't introduce the e-collar in a corrective way. We have a proprietary system we call a 5-phase system. And we teach them what the pressure is on a learning level, so they know what the pressure is and how to turn it off, so that when you're in a situation where your dog is full tilt, has the harness on and is ready to go, and they feel they don't fire up the line or anything like that. That's all. By the way, this is all in theory. It works in real life, but there are exceptions to the rule. And there's one story I want to share with you and your listeners that has to do with the e-collar. Has to do with it's everything we've talked about to this point: tools, training or lack thereof. I wouldn't call this like a designer or a fad breed, but are you ready for it now, or you want me to hold it? Because this is
Give it to me. Give it to me.
I'm going to make it very short and sweet. But, you know, if you have kids watching this or you're easily
No, no
squeamish,
kids. They should be getting
yeah,
ready for school tomorrow.
they should. But I'm telling you guys this, like, it's a very disturbing story. I've seen a lot. I literally used to, as a profession, put dogs on people to bite them, right? This is what I did for a living. So I've seen a lot of nasty, nasty dog bites. This one takes cake. I didn't see it. I saw the aftermath. A lady, amateur dog trainer, her and her daughter. She's like in her 40s. Daughter's like 18. They start training dogs like semi-professionally. They've been doing it for like 6 months. They take on a 3-year-old, 140-pound Rottweiler. Sure, the dog's a fucking badass. I can picture it. It's a lot of Rottweiler. It's a lot of dog.
That's a lot of Rottweiler for a Rottweiler.
Yeah. Intact male. They're training it for 8 days. They're 8 days in, quote, have not seen any signs of aggression. Okay. I kind of doubt that, but okay. You know, and I'm going to try. I want to paint the picture because it's an interesting, because for me, it's like, what was the picture? What was the dog seeing in the moment that led right up to what I'm about to tell you? And I'm going to tell you what it was. They have the dog on place, and I have her permission to share the story so we can all learn from it as both trainers and owners, because this is wild. She has the dog on a back tie. Back tie's on a harness, which I don't know why she's doing that. It's a no-no. They had the dog back tied on a chain to the harness because the last back tie they had, the dog snapped it. Some kind of leash, just snapped it, pure muscle. So it's back tied to a tree. I have no problem with the back tie. It's on a place board. They're 8 days into training with this dog, and they're already using corrective levels on the e-collar. Not ideal. I'm not saying never do that, but it's very, you'd have to really know what you're doing and really have a reason to be progressing that fast, especially if you're going to have the dog for like 6 weeks. But regardless, so the dog had come off place once or twice, and supposedly they used e-collar to get the dog to go back on, and it worked. Okay, fine. They have other dogs kind of out in cages, or they're on their front porch, and they're kind of doing like, they're training, but they're kind of passive training. I mean, the dog's just supposed to stay on place while they go about their daily duties or activities. They have a client come over. That client brings one of their dogs, or is coming to pick up a dog, something like that. Client hangs out for like 15 minutes. That guy gets up, grabs his dog, and starts to walk back to his car. But when the guy gets up and starts walking, she said that all the other dogs kind of got animated, right? Meaning, I call it motor up.
Yeah.
And she said, not crazy, not like 100 being like full tilt. She said they just went from kind of everyone's chilling to maybe everyone's at like a 30 or a 40. Motors are up a little bit. The Rottweiler gets up, kind of seeing what's going on, looking at the guy, takes his two front feet come off place. And I'm going to give you as best I can her quote. She noticed it, gave a verbal corrective marker. That's not what she used. I don't know what she said, but she basically told the dog, no. Dog ignored the no. She walked over. She's walking over, and this is a critical point because this is in the moments that lead up to it. As she's walking towards the dog to deliver what she referred to as, it didn't matter what she referred to, but it was spatial pressure is what the word she was looking for. She goes to spatial pressure the dog back on place. As she does that, she reaches up to grab the e-collar and delivers a level 35 stim, which is corrective level. It's not, earth shattering, but I also don't know the dog. I don't know if that dog laughs at a 35 or is hypersensitive. Regardless, the moment she delivers the 35, at that exact moment, the dog jumps up and bites her right here. Immediately pulls her to the ground, full mouth bite. As she goes to the ground, she kind of gets all twisted up. The dog's pulling. She's yelling, screaming. Daughter comes over, hitting the dog with everything they got, chairs, kicking it, punching it. Dog will not let go. It's still dragging. Daughter's trying to now drag the mom away. And supposedly 30 to 60 seconds later, because they can't tell me, because obviously it's just traumatic.
Right.
The dog severed her arm off. Her arm completely got severed, and the Rottweiler walked away with her arm, and she told her daughter in a calm voice, he's got my arm. We can get up and go now. Something to that effect. Gets up, drags her away, puts a tourniquet on her arm, and she survived. And I had an interview with her. We're going to have her on our podcast so she can share her story, because it's one thing for me to tell. It's another thing to literally see her with her arm amputated, because it was elbow down. It was removed. And then the doctor came in and did a more cleaner cut. This is the power these animals have. And it's funny because people are like, yeah, but dogs are domesticated. I'm like, well, I guess that one isn't. And domestication is a funny thing because I think domestication has something to do with how animals interact with humans. Humans aren't domesticated. That's why we have prisons. You know what I mean? We're a bunch of animals ourselves. We are this close to being, wild and feral, and I would argue, and many of us more so than others, for right or for wrong. But it's the same with these dogs. That Malinois that tried to kill a horse and then broke the damn goat's leg, that's a wild dog. Nice as hell with humans. This Rottweiler, it's an interesting story, bro. Was it the spatial pressure? Was it dominance? Was this dog tired of was it like the Doberman that came up the line on you, where he's like, hit me with that stem one more time and watch what happens? Yeah. Was there warning signs? I'd like to think there was. She's bless her heart, she's a sweet lady, but a lot of mistakes were made, inevitably. She didn't see the warning signs. There's a lot of mistakes that happen.
But did she raise this dog?
She's only had it 8 days in her training program. And then that was my other point is, I don't think she should have ever had that dog in her program. I think the owners bamboozled her. Is that the word? Swindled her, Yeah. There's no way that dog goes from being a perfect angel to literally taking someone's arm off. So we were just told about this story in the last 2 or 3 weeks. I just interviewed her like maybe a week ago, and I'm just sharing this anywhere and everywhere because people are really like, my dog can do no harm.
He never done this before. This is not him, but they're still animals.
And they are very powerful. They can be unpredictable. They can be the best thing ever. Don't get me wrong. But they're animals. We're animals. We can have a bad day. When your dog has a bad day or doesn't have good training, or you do something stupid as an owner, because we're going to be doing I feel this strong desire to do it. I want to do an entire special or video on kids getting bit in the face by dogs. It happens all the time, and it's horrible. And the photos, it's so it's horrible. It's traumatic. It's just, and it doesn't need to happen.
But let me ask you this. That's interesting because when used to be a show called When Animals Attack. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember the name.
They have all different type of animals. And there's been a few times where strangers will walk up and say, "Can I pet your dog? Can I pet your dog?" And then the dog, that Akita, bites her in the face.
Yeah.
Do you think that in today's society that we are, not us in general, but the irresponsible pet owners who are trying to do the right thing, but they're doing the wrong thing, they're trying to take the animal instinct out of the animal?
Well, they anthropomorphize the dog, I think is the word. They humanize the dog. Someone help me. I need a thesaurus here. But yeah, they try to treat the dog like a human baby.
Yes.
By the way, a lot of these people shouldn't treat their human baby the way they treat and I don't mean little baby, but some of the worst kids I dealt with as a police officer was because of a lack of a father in the household or someone not putting their foot down.
You know what I always said? I always said, like, there was one guy that when I had went to a couple of state prisons to drop off some people, there was this one guy named Dickengoo. This Gathright. His name is Gathright. This is in 1998. And you kind of sit back where they put him in a cell where he killed one inmate and then they sodomized him. Then he sodomized a corpse, right? And then he went into administrative segregation, and then they put him in a cell with another cellmate, and the state got sued because it wasn't even supposed to be in another cell with somebody after that. And I say this comment is because I wonder, like, who raised this kid? Like, to be a killer while you already in prison and you sodomize the corpse and then you kill your next cellie. I'm like, so that goes to your point, like, some of these kids should not be treated like kids. They should be treated like grown adults and take the punishment. It's weird because.
But I have a question for you on that.
Yeah.
That gentleman, I don't call him that, but do you think that that's genetic? or we call it nature, genetic, or nurture. Do you think that guy is that messed up in the head because of just genetics? Like he's just not wired right from the factory, you know? Like he was probably I don't know, it's anybody's guess. Was he the kid that was like shooting BB guns at his neighbor's cats and like trying to kill small animals? Because those, you know, those types of people exist.
I think
Or
it was a combination where he was able to do all of this horrific shit up until 18. Because
yeah,
after 18, you're an adult. And now you're in the system. Juvie system, okay, you got a second chance, hopefully, as long as it's not a felony. But after 18, and you were doing some stuff you probably didn't get caught for when you was under 18, it just leads me to be like, who's raising these kids that end up being killers with their own hand?
oh yeah, yeah.
You know,
I
but
think it's both, and I think
yeah,
it's the same with dogs. There's some
yeah,
dogs that you can do everything right, and it doesn't matter. That dog's just a killer,
yeah,
just a straight killer. And I think there's also dogs that have perfect genetics, and if you do everything wrong, you can create a problem where there never was going to be a problem.
yeah.
And then you can have, of course, a combo of the two. So yeah, and I think it's the same with humans. You know, there's serial killers, there's pedophiles, and I always say this is the worst thing to say, but it drives the point home. How do you cure, or how do you train a pedophile? You don't. Like, how much training do you have to give one before
Yeah.
you can trust it in a room with your kid? The answer, no one's ever been able to answer that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
there's just something wrong. Now, some of them have had horrible traumatic childhood, right? I'm not making excuses for them. It's just that might be a nurture situation. They had a bad childhood, and then it happened to them and they do it to kids. Or they could just be genetically, or it could be a combo. Doesn't matter. I don't want to sit there and analyze too much. It's a horrible conversation, but we do have some dogs.
Yeah.
Some of these dogs are just pre-installed from the factory. They want to kill other dogs.
Or badly bred.
Yeah, all that. Yeah.
So let me ask you this. I saw an episode that you made a spinoff of that episode, and it was about that Connie Corso. And then you did a spinoff of that video about people using that word service dog loosely.
Yeah.
So it was American Airline. People, if you didn't see it, you got to go see it. And again, you got to go to Garrett's YouTube channel. Go to American Standard K9. If you want, check out his YouTube channel. If you want to do board and train, you go to AmericanStandardK9.com. And if you want to do some online training, even with trainers, he coaches as well. You go to DIYK9.com for all your online training. So I know, but let me set it up for people. So you had a client's dog, a Connie Corso.
That's my personal dog.
It was a personal dog.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, even better. They had a personal dog, a Connie Corso, my favorite color Corso, black. And for some reason, the front desk counter ticket takers or the helpers, they gave you a little bit of shit about getting on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
And they was telling you, we don't like that kind of dog, going basically off of the aesthetics of the dog, not knowing the dog will lick you in the face.
100%.
Tell me about that. How did you end up, because you did a lot of editing, because I know that took a little bit of while, because you was like the last person to get on the plane at some point.
Yeah. These fuckers.
Right. So tell me about that. And then too, the other question is, when you fly with him, do you fly first class and you buy the other seat?
You have to, yeah. There's no other way.
So tell me about it. What happened?
All right. So we have 2 first class tickets, myself and my videographer. We're taking him down to Epcot, to Disney, because one of our clients who's now sent us his 3rd dog, he has an autistic kid, and he has 3, they're like mini golden doodles or something. And we've trained all 3 of them. And he lives in one of those, I forget what it's called, like Celebration or something, where it's an actually Disney-owned property. You can basically drive a golf cart to Disney World. So he goes to Disney World at least once a week. Super great client, sweet guy. His whole family is amazing. And his dogs, we've trained them, legit service dogs, for his child, and he takes them into Disney every week, and he loves it. The dogs do wonderful. So we're bringing his 3rd dog, and we're like, I'll come along. By the way, is one of my trainers trained it, the same one that had the Malinois bite the horse. So anyways, I was like, I'll come. I'll take Thanos to Disney World, and I want to be part of the take home, and I think it'd be great to film it. Why? We want to show people what's possible with dogs, whether it's a mini golden doodle or a full-size Corso. It doesn't matter. With proper training, your dog should be able to go here, there, and everywhere. Of course, follow all legal guidelines, right? I'm not an attorney. I'm just saying, should be able to walk your dog down the street. And if it's a service dog, you are legally allowed to take your dog anywhere and everywhere. That's the big thing, though, and you see it all the time. Spend enough time in an airport. I'm telling you, 9 out of 10 dogs that you see with their fake-ass service dogs vest, those dogs are not trained. They're not trained. They're not service dogs. They can't sit. They can't down. They can't shut up. Right. So I have a hard time with that. So we want to show people what's possible. So plus I need to get the dog there. So we're going. So I get my first class tickets because it's the only way his big ass is going to sit anywhere. My dog is, it's going to sound braggadocious. Plus I'm biased because he's my personal dog. He's amazing. He's not naturally amazing. He's a fucking asshole. He's a wild animal. If I let him be wild, he will be wild as hell. But when I'm on his ass, he's an angel. And he's super social. Thank God. So I take him. And again, we're filming it a little bit. We got to be there anyways. Like, let's show what it looks like. Bro, I got this dog off leash healing, attention healing, prancing and dancing, meeting people. He's a little celebrity. People want to meet him. And everything's wonderful. We're probably at the airport like 2.5 hours. You know how it is. You got to get there early. So now we get up to the gate. And I'm standing there with him. There's a huge line. People notice the dog. You can't not notice the dog, right? So we're taking photos with people. People are asking questions. They're petting them, yada, yada, yada. Then they start calling people, right? We're in the first row. We're starting to go in. This guy.
No, they said concierge. Concierge, come on the plane first.
Yeah. Well, they pulled me out of line.
Yeah.
Like, brother, I'm standing there for 30 minutes. They could have had this conversation with me at any point. They pulled me out as they're loading people on. And they said, hey, the pilot says this dog can't go on. What? Like, he won't allow the dog on. I'm like, why? And it goes, because of the way he looks. Oh, what? Okay. So I'm like, my camera guy, he's shy. I'm like, bro, you better not put that camera down. You need to record this. On the one hand, I'm very mixed feelings. I try to be rational. On the one hand, I'm super pissed. Because this is like, you could have told me this. We could have had this ironed out 30 minutes ago. Why are you doing this now? You know how it is. People boarding planes. They're trying to get out of there. A lot of people moving. And then on the other hand, I know exactly why they're doing this.
Right.
Quote, because of the way he looks. And I don't blame them. All the out of control asshole dogs they see, this type of dog that has the ability to really hurt somebody. I'm like, man, and the pilot's job is to keep his passengers safe. And you can imagine we're 30,000 feet up and this dog bites a tortoise or something. We can't have that. So
right.
On the other part of me, I'm like, bro, I know, I get it. But at the same time, like, and I jokingly, I'm like, look at him. He's a goofball. He's a goof. People are passing him. Doesn't matter. So, and then the other part of me is like, I'm going to sue the shit out of these people. This is amazing. This is going to be great for my channel. I'm honest. Yeah. Not that I'm about that, but I'm like, this is not good for your brand.
Right.
But I'm actually really pissed because I'm supposed to meet the client. That was probably another thing that was really weighing on me is this is late at night on like a Friday. And we got to meet this client bright and early Saturday morning, 7 a.m. and go into Disney World. We already got the tickets and stuff. I'm like, man, this is super inconvenient. I'm already doing the math. Like, man, can we drive down in time? I'm like, oh, we're going to have to get a rental. They're boarding group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, group 5, 6, 7, 8. Everybody's on the plane. And I'm like, oh, we're fucked. They bring out some customer service guy. He's super nice. He's like, bro, I watch your channel, bro. I love your stuff.
Oh!
Yeah. That's the only thing that saved me. He knew who I was and he's seen Thomas before. And he goes, I'll talk to the pilot. If it wasn't for that, bro, I wouldn't be getting on with the dog. He talks to the pilot. He smooths it over. Plus, we had the camera. If we didn't have that camera, I think they'd have told us to go fly a kite. We literally had the lady on tape. Again, I get it. I'm not mad at them. She goes, you do understand why, though, right? And I go, I don't. She goes, it's because of the way he looks. And I'm like, that's on recording. But no problem. Finally, they smooth it over. They're like, you're good to go. I'm like, oh. Thank God, because I'd rather just get on the plane. I'm not trying to sue nobody. I'm not trying to make anybody look bad. I just want to be like everybody else. By the way,
you got somewhere to go.
bro, we go on. You know what he did? He slept the whole time. The worst thing he did is he farted one time. And then there's no mistaking what a dog fart smell is. I was thoroughly embarrassed. He let one rip about an hour before we landed. And I'm like, sometimes you smell a fart on the plane, but you know who did it? This is the dog fart. I'm like, oh, bro, it was me. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
No, this ain't you.
So anyhow, that was that, man. So
yeah, I noticed that, and I was like, and then you did a spinoff of the requirements to have the service dog label on a dog. It's like there's really the only requirement is the dog shouldn't be reactive, but there's no state, no city, no county, no federal license that you have to get or pass in order to have the dog to be considered a service dog. Correct. So it's really been used too much. It's been and I get American Airlines. I fly with them all the time, executive platinum member. I get it, but because 90% of the people that says their dog are service dogs, they're the ones that's acting a fool on the plane.
Always horrible, bro.
Yeah.
And this dog was the stewardess who didn't see us. Like 2 hours in, she goes, "You have a dog there?" Bro, it's like a 3-hour flight. She just noticed us. I'm like, "Yeah, he's been here the whole time." She goes, "Oh, this is amazing. I've never seen such a well-trained dog." I'm like,
by the way, I'm a trainer.
He's doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing. Like, exactly. Shouldn't see him, shouldn't hear him, nothing. Just lay down and don't get up. That's his job. The reason I made that video had nothing to do with the airline situation. It's because we went to Disney World with him and we filmed that. And I'm going to be very frank here. And it's going to hurt people's feelings. The lunatics from the weirdo service dog community, I'm not saying all service dog people. I'm saying the weirdos whose dogs aren't very well trained and have they're just weird people, bro. They're very weird. They're not plentiful, but they're fucking crazy. Yeah. And their service dogs aren't doing a great job because these people are still crazy. They were so highly offended because their entire identity is wrapped up in their service dog identity. Meaning, if they're in here right now, their name wouldn't be Samantha. It's going to be Service Dog Samantha. They're on Facebook and they're on YouTube and they're on Instagram. How do I know? Because we deleted and blocked them all because they're fucking psycho. But what happens is one of them sees us take Thanos to Disney World, and I thought I'd be interested, what's it like to take your dog to Disney World? The dog was better behaved than most of the people there. We didn't hurt or cause a problem, not one person. You know what these psychos did? They banded together in their weirdo little Facebook group, right? They got themselves all riled up. And they're quoting something that's just wrong. They said that a dog can't be both a protection dog and a service dog at the same time. That's wrong. It's legally incorrect. They're misinterpreting the law. What the law states is that a protection dog does not automatically qualify your dog to be a service dog, but it doesn't preclude the dog from being a service dog. So they see me do protection work with Thanos, and they go, "He can't be a service dog. He can't be. He can't be. You can't take that dog to Disney World." So you know what these psychos did? They started going crazy, calling Disney World, emailing them, and being psychos because these people are unstable. They don't have a job. All they do is get on their little service dog forums.
Gigabyte gangsters.
They're crazy, bro. They banned me from Disney World. Let me be very clear. They banned me with a legitimate service dog, with a legitimate medical condition. Technically, I'm one of them. They banned one of their own people from being able to go in Disney World. Now, here's the funny thing. Remember we talked about a lawsuit? Let's go. I'm going to go to Disney World, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, when I'm in Disney World and then they remove me or don't allow me to enter with my service dog, and then I sue the shit out of them, and they go, "Now that you've won all this money, where are you going to spend it?" I'm going to Disney World. I talk a lot of shit, bro, but it's these people are crazy. So then they're like, we got him. I think Disney's just like, yeah, we're going to ban them. I'll kiss my ass. So anyway, bro, I don't even care. It's just people are crazy. So that's why I created that video in response to go, let's really talk about what a service dog is and isn't. So just trying to educate, but it's all based off of unfortunate real life incidents. And here we are, man. We're just trying to set a great example. Yeah, we can be a little funny, bro. Yeah, we can goof around. You know what they were upset about? It's because at the whole end of the day, Thanos literally spent 12 hours in Epcot and was a perfect little angel of a dog. Perfect, bro. At the end of the day, I let him bite a little Mickey Mouse stuffed toy. That's all. And they said, look at him. Look at
I
him.
didn't see that video. God damn, you should have played that one.
Yeah, I did it like as a bite work scenario, but instead of a sleeve, I used a Mickey Mouse doll. And he just was just goofing, bro. He's just being a goof. Anyhow.
Anyway, man, I wish we could. I wish we can do this a lot longer. We should do it again because I had some questions. Like one of them, I want to talk to you about this company. We'll talk about it later on another show, where this company called Metro Dade Canine Trainers. They sold a guy an $80,000 dog, and I want to know what you think an $80,000 dog's supposed to be doing when you pay that kind of money.
Well, we can save that for another conversation, bro.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. But listen,
I had a great time, man. Thank you so much for the invitation.
No problem.
And despite the fever, I think I did all right, man. I get in the zone, and I love talking dogs, and I loved your questions, bro. Goddamn.
This is off the cuff too.
Yeah.
Hey, man, like I always tell my people, and I'm gonna tell your people too. At the end of this podcast, stay resilient, but be responsible. Until next time, take care.